and my welcome and how excited I am to see all of you in this inaugural program, or programs, I should say. It is a real thrill. My name is Dunn Carlton. I am the Associate Dean of Students, and my primary responsibility at the university is student conduct. So I hope I never see you again. Please don't take that personally. Unfortunately, when you and I come together, it's usually not for the best of situations. So wanted to take a few minutes today to talk to you about some of the key things that bring the students to my office. And unlike Cinderella when she received that invitation to the ball, when you get an invitation to me, it's not nearly so glamorous. So we're just going to take you through this. We have passed to you Tiger Lore, which is our student handbook. The key student policies that govern student life at the university. Included in that are a number of mandated notifications that we're required by law to give to you. So if you have insomnia, you're really struggling one night to sleep, pull that handbook out and it'll take care of it for you, I'm sure. I don't mean to make light. They are serious. They are important. I doubt that most of you will have to worry about the content of this, but if you we want to make sure that you are aware of these things. All right. So ultimately your goal is graduation, to finish this program, to go on and do exciting things. And this is a little roadmap to help you make sure you get there. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. We're really moving. Okay. So the key things we want to talk about today: the honor code, alcohol, marijuana, and other drugs, and file sharing, and sexual misconduct. Okay. All right. So the honor code at Pacific is calls upon each student to exhibit a high degree of maturity, responsibility, and personal integrity. Now, I believe if you are here today, you have achieved this. We just want to make sure you keep doing it. Okay. All right. So we expect that you'll act honestly. We expect that you will encourage academic integrity and that you'll discourage other forms of cheating or dishonesty. So you may be the perfect student and would never ever consider taking a shortcut. But maybe there's someone in your cohort that does. So not only is it your responsibility to be honest and be doing your own work, but also ensuring that your fellow students are doing so as well. And if they're not, we ask that you do report that. And this is the anonymous number for the university that you can call, so you don't even have to tell me that you're the one calling. But you can point out if someone is not living up to that honor code. Okay? All right. Marijuana and other drugs. So in California, clearly, we have a much more liberal policy around marijuana with the ability to have a prescription and probably in another year to use it recreationally. However, as a federal institution that receives federal funding, we cannot honor your prescription while you're on the campus. So, if you are in possession or under the influence, that would be a violation of the university policy. We certainly respect your right to exercise the use of your prescription. However, while you are on the campus itself, that is not permitted. And the law says you have to be within 1,000 feet of a school, and just so we're clear, this qualifies as a school. Okay. All right, file sharing. Now, very popular today, programs such as Nutella, BitTorrent, that allow you to share peer-to-peer sharing of copyrighted material. Music, songs, video games, and the university is again required to support that federal law that says you can't do that. And we do have a system that will flag any copyrighted material traveling over the university network, and you'll get a little pop-up that says, no. If you get that 3 times, you will be kicked off the university network, and being unable to access the university network as a student is almost a fate worse than death. Like, we all start to twitch when anything's down, right? Like a cell phone. So we want to make sure that you don't have that. The BitTorrent, what it does is it takes material and it will grab a little bit from one computer and another and then reassemble something on your computer. So because legally You can have a little bit, you can take a little bit of a movie, but you can't share the whole thing. So what this program does is it takes a little from here, a little from here, a little from here, and then puts it all back together for you. If you're not familiar with it and don't have it, don't worry about it. If you have it on your computer, you do want to remove that because it will be picked up by the university system. All right. Sexual misconduct. You cannot open up a newspaper, log on to the web without hearing something about what we commonly refer to as Title IX. The university entitles it sexual misconduct, but it is one and the same with the Title IX law. And this covers sexual harassment, non-consensual sexual intercourse, also known as rape, non-consensual sexual contact. This is also known as sexual battery, sexual exploitation, dating violence, domestic violence, and stalking. We want to make sure that if in the event over the next semester or two in the program, maybe there are some blooming relationships. Love is found here on the campus. We want to make sure that all those experiences are consensual and that they are wanted and welcomed. And if they're not, that you know how to report that, and the university will absolutely respond to these.
If you're still struggling with consent, just imagine instead of initiating sex, you're making them a cup of tea. You say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And they go, "Oh my God, I would love a cup of tea, thank you." Then you know they want a cup of tea. If you say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And they're like, I'm not really sure. Then you could make them a cup of tea, or not, but be aware they might not drink it. And if they don't drink it, then, and this is the important part, don't make them drink it. Just because you made it doesn't mean you are entitled to watch them drink it. And if they say no thank you, then don't make them tea. At all. Just don't make them tea. Don't make them drink tea. Don't get annoyed at them for not wanting tea. They just don't want tea, okay? They might say, "Yes, please. That's kind of you." And then when the tea arrives, they actually don't want the tea at all. Sure, that's kind of annoying as you've gone to all the effort of making the tea, but they remain under no obligation to drink the tea. They did want tea, now they don't. Some people change their mind in the time that it takes to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk. And it's okay for people to change their mind. And you are still not entitled to watch them drink it. And if they're unconscious, don't make them tea. Unconscious people don't want tea. And they can't answer the question, "Do you want tea?" because they're unconscious. Okay, maybe they were conscious when you asked them if they wanted tea. And they said yes. But in the time it took you to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk, they are now unconscious. You should just put the tea down. Make sure the unconscious person is safe. And this is the important part again. Don't make them drink the tea. They said yes then, sure, but unconscious people don't want tea. If someone said yes to tea, started drinking it, and then passed out before they'd finished it, don't keep on pouring it down their throat. Take the tea away. Make sure they're safe, because unconscious people don't want tea. Trust me on this. If someone said yes to tea around your house last Saturday, that doesn't mean they want you to make them tea all the time. They don't want you to come around to their place unexpectedly and make them tea and force them to drink it going, "But you wanted tea last week." Or to wake up to find you pouring tea down their throat going, "But you wanted tea last night." But if you can understand how completely ludicrous it is to force people to have tea when they don't want tea, and you're able to understand when people don't want tea, then how hard is it to understand it when it comes to sex? Whether it's tea or sex, consent is everything. And on that note, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea.
So while that is a humorous descriptor of consent, we want to make sure that in your life that is always clear. And California state law now explicitly says that you must have consent in order to engage in any intimacy, and that must be mutually understood, clearly communicated by both partners. My hope for you that if it is your desire to have sex, that you have lots of fabulous, protected, consensual intimacy. Okay. All right. If in the event you or someone you know has been a victim of some form of sexual misconduct, we have a student victim advocate who is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This person has that cell phone with them all of the time and can guide you through getting help, support resources, filing a complaint with the university, or filing a complaint with the local law enforcement. But the important thing to know is this is confidential. This doesn't have to be shared with anyone else. A tremendous resource, and we're very lucky at the university. We have had a victim advocate for almost 15 years. This is an extraordinary professional who has helped many students through difficult times. And to remind you, too, that this is not something exclusive for women, for men as well, for anyone who may have experienced some form of sexual misconduct. Today we provided you a list of resources that there are information for San Francisco, Sacramento, and Stockton. But key in all of those is our victim advocates that will support students on all of our campuses. This is something we do. So if you're on the Stockton campus, we want to remind you these are all real. And the parking enforcement as well. So if you have reason to be on the campus, those are real police officers that issue real tickets. And we would hate for you to find yourself cited and dealing with something on the campus as well. So ultimately, I wish you an extraordinary journey and that we don't come together again. All the best to you. Thank you.